In past years, I've taken my best friend, Keely, since we're in Streamwood, my aunt and uncle live in Streamwood, to my aunt and uncle's house, right? Like, we've spent numerous weekends together. Like, she knows my aunt and uncle fine, right? We've gone, like, the Streamwood Fair, or, like, the fair right by their house or something like that. And you know what? I brought it up to her again, and I was like, I don't really know. And she was like, yeah, I don't really know. And, like, we're adults now. It's gonna take a lot more for us to have fun than just, like, going to a fair. So I was like, we should go to, like, the Springfield, like, the state fair or something, right? Like, Boone County Fair is, like, fine, obviously, because that's where we are, right? Or, like, Winnebago County Fair. But Boone County Fair is, like, can be kind of, no, I don't want to say boring, because there's a lot of, like, food and opportunities. But I'm at the point in my life where I appreciate the rides just as much as, like, the food and people selling things. Like, I walk around everywhere. I see the animals, right? Like, too many people I know, though. And in order for Keely and I to have the most amount of fun, we can't know anyone. There was one fair we went to, I think it was sophomore year. So it was like fall of 24. No, fall of 23. No, I think it was fall of 24 then. So that was junior year. Acting like it was 25 years ago. I know, guys. I graduated high school, and all I could talk about is when I was in high school. And it was right next to Boomer Stadium, right? It was like in the parking lot of Boomer Stadium, because there was like I don't want to say haunted house, but there was like this activity in the stadium where we would get like chased by, or like we would walk through and like get chased by, like, you know, creepy. Like, it was kind of like a haunted house, I guess. And it was kind of fun, right? We did dress up, right? I had like my cow costume. I had like a cow onesie, and she had like her Pickle Rick costume, and it was fun. I think it was 2024. God, I think that was the last time she was even here too. We haven't been able to do that for a while, because like I'm always busy on weekends, and then we had to see her mom, and she's not seeing my mom. So Springfield State Fair is my goal this year. I don't even know when it is. I don't have a job, right? We're not going 2 hours south to Springfield without, my aunt and uncle aren't going to want to do that unless we have gas money and stuff. And then also, like, it would be boring for them. So, I mean, I have my license, but, like, I'm not allowed to drive my car by myself until I have money for insurance. It is insured, right? They just redid their 6-month premium in, like, May. But they want, like, before that car's, like, fully mine, they want me to be able to, like, pay for the stuff, right? So, however much gas, 2 hours, it's like, what? If it's like 1 hour is like 70 miles, and it's like 140, it would take maybe like 2.5 hours to go from like Streamwood to Springfield. Then probably 3 hours, because the traffic is probably gonna be pretty heavy depending on the day. Springfield, the state fair. Only time anybody ever goes to Springfield. The only time I have been to Springfield is to a hotel twice for Key Club. It was the most bland place I've ever seen. Maybe it's just like I always have the worst luck with hotel window views. It was just looked so depressing. I was like, no wonder the Simpsons want to get out. Like, I don't know. And then once I went to the state capitol in this April. And it did look much nicer, right? Like, the downtown areas, like, I am much more familiar with because of Belvedere. But I just can't even imagine. So I want to go to the state fair with her. And I've been getting, like, a lot of, like, travel-orientated things on my Instagram For You page, because I'm all over Instagram. Like, TikTok, not so much. Snapchat, I mean, yeah, but, like, it's different than Instagram. So on Instagram, I've just been getting all this travel stuff, and I do want to travel, right? Like, I made a bucket list this summer, not for this summer, obviously. There's only so many things you can do in the summer, but I made, like, a life bucket list, and a lot of them are travel-oriented. When I try to tell, like, Kathy Nicole and my family about this, they're like, you don't have any money. Okay. So it's a life bucket list. I don't know why you're hoping that I die right now this year, but I'm hoping to go for like 70, 80. Like, I don't understand what the problem is with people not understanding the word, like, in my life. I mean, obviously, sooner rather than later. I don't know when I'll be able to do it in my life, right? Like, I have a lot of career-oriented goals, right? Like, oh, I want to become a doctor. I want to go to medical school. Like, I have a lot of education, like, planning, and, like, obviously that's supposed to come, academics are supposed to come first. And no, I'm not falling for the trap of, like, these girls post on Instagram, like, I graduated high school and now I'm on a flight to Spain. No job, no money. Okay, you have money. I don't have any money, right? I have $20 to my name right now, in cash even. Like, I don't understand why people, like, I don't know. I think people just don't listen to me. And, like, I'm sure there's some truth to maybe I've made irresponsible decisions in the past, but that's maybe like spending $60 on a pair of PacSun shorts that don't even fit me. Not going to Mauritania to ride the iron ore train or something like that. That's what I want to do, right? That's been on Instagram. Or like those guys on Instagram that like dap each other up and then the camera goes to like the view. Like, I feel like everywhere in my life I'm being so inspired to travel elsewhere. And I think that's, like, I've always wanted to do that, right? Like, ever since, like, I want to say middle school, high school. When I got to high school, right, and I took German, I was really inspired to go to Germany, right? I almost applied to be a foreign exchange student, right? Like my dad signed the papers and everything. I want to go to Germany. That was always my first thing, right? Like that's how good my German teacher was. She made us so involved in the culture. Like I was like, I have to go to Germany. I am part German, but like that's not, it's not like my Mutter and Vater are from Deutschland. It's right, I'm just one of those like European mutt, like white girls. I'm just a white girl. And if I say anything else, then I get canceled, right? Like, I'm actually 12.5% Polish. I am, but like nobody really cares. Like I'm fourth, maybe fifth generation. Nobody cares once you're like third generation, right? Like if I was like my parents immigrated from Germany, no. My great grandmother, who my dad didn't even meet, was German, right? I think her name was very German though. Her name was Kunigunda. And I think there's multiple spellings and it's really hard to look it up now because like that name is like not even around anymore, but I don't know. So yeah, Germany was always like the first place that I really wanted to travel to, and like outside of the country at least you could say, because the end of my freshman year, right, I got the incredible opportunity to go to Disney World. It was like a band trip. It was 1 week. It was really worthwhile. That was like the most I had been out of state, right? Like I'd, living in Belvedere or like in the Chicagoland area my entire life. Belvedere is not the Chicagoland area, just I have lived, I've been to like Madison. Well, I've been to like Wisconsin, Indiana when I was a baby and I barely remembered. Other than that, like I hadn't been anywhere, not even that well traveled in Illinois. So I was like, I have to get out, especially living in Belvedere. Like it's such a small town and some people like that and I don't. Every time I get to visit Chicago, I love it. So like freshman year, I took my band trip to Disney World. It was the best thing ever. Yes, it was expensive, right? Going back to that, yes, it was expensive. It was a total of like $1,200. And technically it was only like $1,000 because I fundraised the frick out of like I did great on a fundraiser. Like I made like $600. But we could only keep like less than half of that, so I really made like $250. So it was really only $1,000 only, but that included like a $200 deposit, so then $800 to be spread over like 7 months. So then it was like $150 a month. And like, okay, I was really fortunate to have certain family members, right? Like my aunt, like 2 of my aunts and 1 of my uncles like helped me out overall, right? So they like split payments and stuff like that. So I was really grateful for that, of course. But we went through Indiana, even going to the Indiana Oasis, right? Like not even that far outside of Illinois. Like I was like, oh my God, like this is it. Like I just spent like $5 at McDonald's in Indiana, but it was in Indiana. Like this is the first time I even remember going to Indiana. And then we went through Kentucky. Okay. That was like, it took us like, not that long to go through Kentucky. It was at night when we were all sleeping on the bus and it was, we stopped for 5 minutes to exchange our bus drivers at a Buc-ee's, right? Buc-ee's, by the way, incredible experience. And then we passed through Tennessee, and then we passed through Georgia, and then we got to Florida. Boom, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, 5 states that I had never been to, or right, Indiana, maybe we'll do 4 states I had never been to in my entire life. I loved it so much. I don't know if we went through Atlanta on the bus, but we went through like a downtown city of Georgia, and I loved it so much. And then Florida, of course, like Orlando's not that far from wherever the town was, but Disney World was an incredible experience for me. I loved, like, I legitimately made myself get lost. Like, it was pretty bad to break the rules, but like, you know, I separated from my friend group. It's not like I rode the rides alone, but like when we were in like Magic Kingdom, that was our first stop. Like, I'm literally thinking about crying just talking about it. Like, call me dramatic, but like as someone who had never been like barely outside of the state of Illinois, of all states, before, Disney World, insane. And then sophomore year, so that was like June of freshman year. That was June 2023. In April 2024, after I'd been to Chicago, you know, I'd been to Chicago before, but we're not talking about that anymore. My best friend Keely, I got to go on a trip to Minneapolis to visit the Mall of America for her Sweet 16. And like, you know, we drove and stuff like that, but it was okay. The Mall of America was incredible. I just wish I had gone later in life, because sophomore year me did not know how to dress myself. Like, we just threw on a pair of leggings and a t-shirt. Like, I wish if I had gone to Minneapolis now, I would have looked so much better. But the memories we made, it was insane. Just swimming in the hotel pool with my best friend. Minnesota. I'd never been to Minnesota before. And then June 2025, I got to go to Tennessee. I got to go on another band trip just to Tennessee. And like, right, we had been through it on the Florida trip, but like, you know, just like through it. We didn't even stop. I think we stopped at a Buc-ee's, right? Very prevalent in that area. Buc-ee's itself was incredible. As someone from Northern Illinois, like, you guys get it. Tennessee was the most incredible trip of my life. I put on my life bucket list to go back to the Grand Ole Opry, because we got to go to that, and I cried, I think, 3 separate times. And I think they were actually all during the Dustin Lynch's performance. It was once with his, with Small Town Boy, right, with his collaboration with Fernando y Sorocaba. That was insane. I had never felt more like that one, like POV, a white girl just gets back from a week trip to Cancun. Hola! Oh, sorry, I just got back from Mexico. Like, right, like that, like, I was just like, the cultures mixing with each other. They're from Brazil. He's from America. Okay, United States of America. It's in Portuguese and English. I had never experienced anything like this in my life. I had never been to a live concert before. My 6th grade band concert doesn't count, right? Like, I had never been to a real concert like this before, guys. And on my first time like this, it's the Grand Ole Opry. It's Dustin Lynch. I didn't know how much I loved Dustin Lynch, right? Like, I listened to country music on the radio. After the Tennessee trip, I permanently switched my radio station to 95 Through the Bowl country. Dustin Lynch. Who knew that he was the face behind all of those hits that I had loved, like, growing up? Like, Dustin Lynch has been around since, like, you know, pre-2010s, obviously, like early 2000s, and his top hits always played on the radio station. So when I first moved to Belvedere, you know, I would only listen to that station because that's the only one I knew. Like, your girl was too scared in a small town to even change the radio in her bedroom, and so I listened to Dustin Lynch, and I didn't know that. I listened to John Party, and I didn't know that. I listened to Dan and Shay, and I still don't like the song Tequila. I've listened to it way too much, but I think I'm straying from the point. I love traveling, going to new places, and in April 2026, this year is 2026, just a couple months ago, I got to go to Atlanta, Georgia for my DECA trip. Nationals. I know. This was only my second year in DECA. I joined junior year, and I truly do love it. Like, I think if I tried hard enough, I could describe it with words, but just for, you know, dramatic effect, words cannot describe how much I love DECA. Not just because it let me go to Atlanta, Georgia, but Atlanta, Georgia, like, that was the first time I had been on a plane. That was the first time I had been on a plane, guys. And I was scared at first because I was like, who invented planes? this doesn't seem very trustworthy at all. I never want to go on a plane again. Girl, how are you going to travel to Mauritania to ride the Iron Train if you don't want to go on a plane? I guess I'll swim. I don't know. It was not an exciting flight. It was like a 2-hour flight. It was very anticlimactic. I slept. Riding on a plane is not exciting. I don't know why everybody always, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it was the movies, maybe it's social media. I was like, oh my God, a plane ride. This is a big deal. No. Nobody else thought it was a big deal. And of course, the only, like, my DECA partner, Sam, right, he was like, I actually just got back from Vietnam a couple months ago. We spent like 2 weeks there. Whatever the word is for a mix of jealousy and anger, maybe rage. That's what I was feeling. I was like, he was tan too. And like, I want to go to Vietnam. Not because he said that, but like, I'd been thinking for a few weeks, like, yeah, my next, my bucket list travel destination, Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, am I right? And just, I love going to all of these places. Like, I don't care if I take a plane, you know, since I love Chicago so much, I'd probably want to take the train or something like that. I want to go to New York City, like, I think I have my bucket list on paper, actually. I think I'm going to share it with you guys. I'll make a separate video. But yeah, traveling, right? So Germany is the first place I really wanted to go to abroad. But after seeing everything on Instagram, this doesn't just encompass abroad. Like, I just mean like in general, like, what do you mean that's Mount Rainier in what, Washington State? I was like, what? I was like, maybe I should have gone to Washington State University. No, I mean, thanks for accepting me if you're watching this, Washington State University, but once I got accepted into Penn State, like, I'm sorry, there was no going back. But Washington State, guys, Washington State. Or, God, even just I've been on a Criminal Minds, like, marathon recently. Criminal Minds episode of, they're in South Dakota. And it's like, you know, like, you know, something, the Badlands was mentioned. And I was like, the Badlands? South Dakota? And I was, like, looking it up. I was like, why should I go to the Badlands? I want to go to the Badlands now. And I'll give you a sneak peek of my bucket list, my life bucket list. Oh, I actually just lost my train of thought. One of my items, my list items, is to go to every U.S. state, but like for a purpose, right? So like, sure, I've already been in Minnesota on the Mall of America trip with my best friend, right? It counts. Even if it was before I made my bucket list, right? Like, that was a big memory I made. That was a really good reason to go to Minnesota, of course, right? The Mall of America. There's only one of those. It's in Minnesota. If I was like, go to a lake, if I only went to Minnesota, like, go to a mall, like a regular mall, you can do that anywhere. Or like Tennessee, right? I went there on a band trip. I saw the Grand Ole Opry. I went to Dollywood. That counts. I went to Graceland. Florida, right? I've already been to Florida because I went to Disney World. Now, I think I would visit every U.S. state, like, before that, right? So I think my state count is like 8. And then I would like keep going until I hit 50, but then maybe I would go back, right? Depending on what point in my, like, how old I am, or like what point in my life I am. Like, obviously I'd love to go back to Minnesota, but like, maybe I'd count it like, right? Like, I'll go to Minnesota to watch a Minnesota Wild game. Yeah, maybe not root for them, but you know. So South Dakota is now for the Badlands and other stuff, but like the Badlands. And so I did put Mount Rainier for Washington, and I'll have to look at the others. I can't look at my notes app on my phone when I'm recording, but like, yeah, guys. I don't really have a conclusion, but that was just like my rant about how much I want to travel. Like, I love going to new places and meeting new people, and it's ironic because I've always been a picky eater. Like, I can't even eat fried chicken, I swear. Right? I wasn't really the type of person that always ate, like, chicken fingers and mac and cheese, like, when I went out at restaurants, because I didn't go out at restaurants, because my dad is... Poor people don't go to restaurants. But now, all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, take me to the Philippines. I'll eat. I don't know what they eat in the Philippines. I think it was, like, there's, like, they eat, like, octopus, right? I don't know. I remember hearing something about, maybe that. Don't cancel me. I'd still love to go to the Philippines. My aunt, obviously she's not like blood related to me, but like my dad's younger brother's wife, my aunt. I love her so much, right? I have a cousin, right? She's from the Philippines, right? And she hasn't gone back like really recently, but I really want to go back. I'm not go back, but like I really want to go to the Philippines. Like I'd love to do that. And with her, like first of all, that'd be the easiest way to do that is like through a person that I know, because I'm not going to a foreign country by myself. I'm a woman. Let's be for real. The Philippines would probably be okay for me, right? But like maybe Egypt, maybe not. And I know that's completely different countries, continents. You know, going to somewhere in Europe, right, in general, you know, go ahead and cancel me for that one. I'd probably be fine. Like being a woman, maybe, you know, I'd be careful around London, but you know, I'm very aware. I've had close calls in the US myself, so I don't know. I'd love to go to the Philippines. I'd love to go to Vietnam. And just all these people online, they always have a friend with them, and I'm like, that's fine. I can become friends with anybody. I can take a friend on a trip. Like, I need to go places. Like, I want to do all these things. Like, what do you mean you're paragliding over the Grand Canyon? I mean, I don't think that was real, but like, you know, like, what do you mean you're skydiving into a volcano, right? Yeah. I don't really know how I'm going to edit this video. If this is going to be, I think it's going to be part of the day's vlog, and it'll just be a rant added. My bucket list will be a separate video, but still on this account.